Hey guys, thanks for tuning into CMTEQ channel. This is tutorial number 14 on our series of learning C programming by coding. Now in this tutorial, we're going to write a C program that will check whether a year is a leap year or not. Now, before we start typing the code, let's just get the facts right. What is a leap year? Now, a leap year is a year that has 366 days, and that is only possible when February here is equal to 29 days. So whenever February is equal to 29 days, then we know it's a leap year, because when February is 29 days, the year end up being 366 days. Otherwise, it's 365. So this here is the condition for a leap year, but this only happen once every 4 years. Like right now, if you are watching this tutorial in the year 2022, okay, the last time we had a leap year was in 2020. So the year 2020 was a leap year, and the next time we're going to have a leap year will be in 2024. You guess it. So we're only getting a leap year every 4 years. But to use this condition to check for a leap year with our C program is going to be a bit tricky. Let's say you enter a year 1984. Well, program has to be very sophisticated to check 1984 whether it is a leap year by going in and checking if February had 29 days. So that will be a bit tricky to do. But we're gonna do it a simple ways. And the simple way will also going to be depending on the conditions. And some of those conditions are that a leap year is a year that is exactly divisible by 4. 2020 divided by 4, we're getting 505. So that means 2020 is a leap year. And the result will be the same if we divide 2024 by 4. We're also going to get an even number. So which means these 2 years, they confirm to be leap years. So that's one condition to check a leap year. But what is a condition that we can check that a year is not a leap year? So the first one is, once we divide a year by 4 and we don't get an even number, then we know that the year is not a leap year. One more condition to check is that years that end with 00, okay, like year 2000, okay, year 1900, okay, year 1400. So century years, years that end with zeros. These years are not leap years except if you can divide it by 400. Okay? So for instance, if you take the year 2000 here, you divide it by 400, okay? You're going to get number 5. So which means it's a leap year. But if you take the year 1900 divided by 400, well, guess what? You're getting 475. So 1900 is not a leap year. The other condition to check if a year is not a leap year is if you can divide it by 100, but not by 400. So if we take 2020 here, we divide it by 100, and obviously we're not going to get an even number. We're getting 20.2. So this means that 2020 is actually a leap year. But if we get an even number when we divide the year by 100, that means the year is not a leap year. So let's test that with the year 1900. We know that 1900 is not a leap year. So we divide it by 100. We get 19. So which confirm that 1900 here is actually not a leap year. So now that we've got all the conditions together, let's go ahead and build our if-else statement to check whether a year is a leap year or not once the user enter an input. So the first thing here is your variable declaration. And you know that the user will be asked to enter a particular year. So we're going to declare the year as an integer. So int, we're going to just say year. And as always, we're going to politely ask the user to enter a year. So we're going to say politely, please enter a year. And like that, we remain in the same line. Then you need to handle the user input. So we're going to use the famous scanf function to do that. And we're handling the integer, so we're going to use a %d format specifier, and then we're going to dereference the year like that. Okay, now that part is done. So now we can start checking our various condition for whether a year is a leap year or not. Year is leap year if it is divisible by 400. So that's the first condition. So we're going to say if, okay, the value that the user is going to enter, year modulus 400 is equal to 0, just like we check for even numbers. So if this result return a 0, okay, then we print %d is a leap year. And then we pass year there that the user enter. So now we can go ahead and check the second condition. So in that we're going to use an if else statement. But before we do that, let's enter a comment and say year not a leap year if it is divisible by 100. So if the year is divisible by 100, you know that it's not a leap year. Okay? But also not divisible by 400. Obviously, both these two conditions can never be together. So once you divide already a number by 100, and if it gives you an even number, you just have to know that if you divide it by 400, it will not give you an even number. So the two conditions, they will never return you a 0 at the same time for 1 year. So which means those are the conditions. So if we come here, then we're going to say else if, okay, the year that the user enter modulo 100 is equal to 0. Then let's just take this printf here. We paste it to save time. And then we're going to say is not a leap year. Now we can go ahead and enter the third option, else if. But before we do that, let's include the comment. So in this section here, we're going to check year is leap year if it is not divisible by 100, okay, but it is divisible by 4. Okay, so that is the one condition to check also whether the year is a leap year or not. So if this year is not divisible by 100, but it is divisible by 4, that means it is a leap year. So we're going to say year modulo 4 is equal to 0. Okay, if that returns 0, then we're going to paste here and say the year is a leap year. Then the last condition, we're going to say else if everything else fail, okay? That means the year is not a leap year. This is in a case where a user is entering some value number that who knows what. But if we want to make this artificial intelligence machine more clever, obviously we're going to be able to handle any value that the user enter. But this one will precisely do just that. So if you enter like characters and things like that, it's just going to tell you, well, what you just enter is not a leap year if our program does not crash. So we have to enter a comment here, and then we're going to say for every other input. Okay, just like that. So now we've successfully constructed our program that can check whether a year is a leap year by checking all the 4 conditions, by checking all the 3 conditions. So the first one, if it is divided by 400, it returns 0, then it is a leap year. And those applies mostly for century years. And also, if it is divided by 100, then we know it is not a leap year. And then we also check, well, if it is divided by 4, then it is indeed a leap year. So now we can go ahead and run this program and confirm if our program is running. So I'm going to enter the year 2020. We know that the year 2020 is a leap year. So what do we get? Well, 2020 is a leap year. Okay, so let me just put, let's check for one more condition. Let's check for one more condition. We're going to check for the year 2024. We know that it's also going to be a leap year. Yes, 2024 is going to be a leap year. But let's enter this year, 2022. 2022, we know that it's not a leap year. It says 2022 is not a leap year. But what if you enter some random numbers? What will it say? Well, it said this number is not a leap year, obviously. Okay, and I mean, by the time the world gets to this year, we probably will be living in Mars, all of us. So that will be it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching. If you like this tutorial, please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more tutorial like this. And also don't forget to give a thumbs up. Until next time, cheers.